so we're straight into it. This is going to be a long video, and the topic of this video is about Platoon play. So I'm gonna play 6 games in total. I've got 2 games in a heavy, 2 games in a medium, 2 games in a light. And today I'm platooning with a guy called Applevsorange. So our clan has had a new lease of life in terms of the amount of people that have entered or come and gone through the clan. So Apple has joined the clan recently. And I have to say, I really enjoy Platoon with the guy. His ability to kind of read my mind and me read his mind and make good pushes together. So we had 3 sessions, 3 different days where we're playing heavy tanks. Obviously I'm playing the VK90 and he's playing the Object 777, which is a really good duo together. So the VK is a good holding tank, good gun on it, good armor, and its ability to kind of bounce shots as well, while he's playing the Object 777, which is a tank that's just got great raw DPM. So we pushed up here. We were kind of anticipating that their meds would show. There's a med on each team. Our Progetto has gone the left hand side to help our heavies, which I thought was a bit disappointing. We have spotted up their WZ here. Now this game has an issue with the replay file where you can see that tanks will hop. I'm really sorry about that, but this is a really good game. So we spotted up the WZ, and we need to take this guy out as soon as possible. The majority of the reds are over the far side of the map, and to help our team we need to take out their tanks as soon as possible. And this is a game that it's full of process. You have to understand the process needed to play certain games. So we need to take this tank out as soon as possible. He's holding his side. We do bounce 2 shots from the Progetto, who's finally showed, and he's in the bush. We do take out the WZ, and now it's vital that we take out this medium tank. He's the eyes of the red team. So Apple's pushed in here. Now we are losing 2 teammates on the opposite side, unfortunately. This is not looking good for our team. So both Apple and myself need to take this tank out as soon as possible. Now you'll see the replay file is a bit corrupted. You see it hopping quite a bit. We do manage to get a shot in there on the Progetto. And this is where I take a look at across the map. It's always good to be aware of the situation. How is the team doing? We're not in any immediate danger right now, but we will be towards the end of this game. I contemplate taking a shot there on the EO. Now the gun on this thing is great, but I wasn't going to get that shot. No way. So Apple's pushed in. He's put some pressure on the Progetto here, and he's made the error that most mediums do. They try and hold down a position. It's a good tank for it, but he made a fatal error there. Now our team has just been doing really, really bad. It's it's 6 versus 3, 5 versus 3, excuse me. And our last remaining player, the IS-7, he's going to get taken out here. Now he's probably done very, very well in holding back the reds, but now we're in a situation where it's 5 versus 2, and because I'm in the VK90, I'm gravitating towards this wall here. It's always good to have some hard cover beside you, and also if we can spot up any of the reds just to see what way they come up. They could come up on the right hand side up the hill here, but I can see that Apple has been spotting up some of them, so they probably see him, and this is where I engage the Foch. I'm going to take a shot there. That's a heat shell. I'm trying to angle up as best I can, and we side-scrape the second shot, so we managed to eat that. Some really bad shots there for me. The Foch angles up pretty well there. I was trying to hit his track, but he didn't angle in as quick as possible, as quickly as I was anticipated. So there is a Cran up here as well. Apple's done a stellar job in terms of spotting this team. You can see there pushing him. He's taken up a really good position as well, where he's able to stay hulled down and attract them out. Now I'm side scraping out at an angle that I don't really want to be side scraping out, but I needed that gun depression, and the VK90, you got the gun depression on the sides. Apple's done an absolute stellar job here. He's turned the T57 into a one-shot, so I managed to take him out. And suddenly the game looks like it's manageable again. It's 3 versus 2, and now it's 2 versus 2. So the last 2 tanks in the red team is a Yo. He's a one-shot. I do take that shot. I managed to bounce his shot and take him out, and suddenly it's 2 versus 1. Now unfortunately for this Yo, he's using the 2-shot autoloader, which is a horrible situation to be in as the last remaining tank, and we're just able to just whittle down his hit points here. And I'm happy to take the shots here for Apple. given the tank that I'm driving is super heavy. So put a shot in on him and he's suddenly a one shot. And I don't mind taking shots here. I'm going to try and side scrape to them. Manage to bounce that one. Don't read the second one. And we do take him out. So from a game that went from 5 versus 2 to turn it around and win it. Now I'm well aware that most of the Reds were one shots, but some very, very good gameplay there with a teammate who's able to read my mind and I'm able to read his mind. So in the end we do 3.9k damage. We bounce 2.3k. Second class mastery, top gun. I think we got the brothers in arms as well. So a really solid game there with Apple versus Orange. Alright, we're on to the second game. Dyke, Game of Supremacy. And this is the game that followed the first game actually. While I am cherry picking certain games, I think this is a game that showcases the good Platoon strategy and good Platoon play. I didn't notice it there in the chat at the time. Apple was actually asking me where I wanted to go on this map. And I didn't see it. Now, usually what I'll do is I'll tend to follow whoever I'm platooning with and support them. I won't take the lead. But this particular game, because of the tank I'm driving, I'm probably going to go to the C cap, yeah? And we do have support from the T-57 here. So we're going to push up to the C cap here, see if any of their tanks show up in and around the town. It's not a position or not a side of the map that I usually tend to go. But the thing that I notice as well in my gameplay as playing as a heavy, a lot of the games, to my own detriment, is they're lost because I'm trying to support the mediums. But this is kind of it's a good game from the team overall. So we have spotted up some of the Reds, and this is the most important part of the game. It's just recognizing strategically what the Reds are doing. So it looks like they've vouched for the left hand side, the A side. You can see there that I was side scraping. I didn't want to go around that corner because they weren't all spotted up. I don't know who's potentially going to come into the town here, so I set up a side scrape and come out sideways, just to protect myself, just in case there's anyone in the town here. And then I push into this position here. So this is a great position for any tank really. We've got shots on B. We're near C if tanks do show up on the C side, and this has happened to me quite a bit, where sometimes you put a tank in this position and all these tanks get spotted up on the C side. So we can see that they're Reds. It seems like they're taking up residency here in the middle. This is probably going to be a tricky situation where we've got 3 of the tanks here at least, but we do spot up the WC. We put a shot in on him. In fairness to my team, they're doing a very, very good job in spotting the Reds on the left hand side. Because I'm a German tank, I do catch fire there. We need to get rid of this guy as soon as possible. He's got the 2-shot autoloader, which seems to be a feature of this particular video. And I'm trying to angle in such a way that I don't take shots. I can see that the rest of my team is coming in supporting me, so I want to try and conserve my hit point as much as possible. We're able to bounce that second shot, and he's in a whole world of trouble. Now, in a situation like this, this would usually annoy me, particularly at this stage of the game where we've got 3 tanks looking at 1 tank, but we are fortunate enough to be able to take him out as soon as possible. Now, the rest of the Reds, they didn't really support the Yo there, unfortunately. Really, really tough situation for that Yo. So I'm going to push in here. We're going to take on the Cran here. You can see that Apple's pushing up, and this is a really good part of the video to point out how he's taking shots for me and I'm taking shots for him. So we're conserving each other's hit point pool. We don't want to be in a situation where we're coming out on the side, but because of this tank, it's so strong when it comes out like this because you've got the gun depression over the side. So put another shot in the Cran. Apple makes a bit of a mistake here. He uses AT to try and take out the Cran. Unfortunately, he doesn't take him out, but he leaves him out on very little hit points. Don't need to shoot that shot, and we're into the grill. So I'm trying to time this at a position where either I'm taking a shot for Apple and he doesn't have to take one, or vice versa. So it's really good play, and this is where I noticed that there's an AFK 183, and the game is pretty much over. This guy's AFK. I didn't like this T-57. He was on a reload and he's blocking shots. Now, it's not so bad in this particular game because this guy's AFK, but I let him know that I'm not particularly happy with him. So another victory. 3.1k damage. Destroyed 1, damaged 5. Got a 3rd class, got a Confederate as well. And the final team stats. Do manage to take some credits away from that one as well, but I did have to fire a lot of premium. And we're top of the team, 3.1k, 3.4k. All right, next two games are going to feature in mediums. So this was another session that Apple and myself had, and he was playing the Object 140, and I'm playing the 907. Two very, very fast tanks, very mobile. So it's another game of supremacy. We've spawned on the northeast side here, and being a medium, I'm going to obviously push the medium side here, so I'm going to use my engine boost here, try and take up the take up a position here on this rock here. We've got some soft cover with the bush. We don't spot any of the reds, but I was slow into this game. I do take a blind shot there, and that bush is a position that I usually take up if I was on the red team, or that if we spawn on that side. So we do spot up the E50M, and he's between a rock and a hard place, excuse the pun. I can see that Apple has gone to the left-hand side here, so it becomes very, very obvious that their team are set up in the middle and the right-hand side here. Now, their heavies can't support their mediums. I'm just waiting for this E50M to peak. And we put a shot in. Now, unfortunately, we do bounce that one, but the great thing about this tank is it's got tracer shells. So I don't need to shoot and pen for that tracer to be activated. He's going to be visible on the map for the next 20 seconds. And I think a lot of red teams, or a lot of reds, they'll often forget about that. And it's an interesting mechanic for this tank. So he does peek again. He thinks he's reset camo, but he's shown and he's actually taking a shot for it. Now, it looks like they're backing off. And this is an interesting part of the video where Apple's been fairly busy holding back the tanks here in the middle that are in the ditch. There's a Sheridan and there's a Yo, and he's done an absolute boss job holding them back. I'm going to put a shot in on the Sherry here. We don't get the pen, but that's okay. I mean, he's going to, the tracer shell mechanic, he's going to be shown on the map for 20 seconds. The Yo, I know he's pushed here. Now, I mistimed the shot here, and this is where I have a bit of a change of mind. I pull back here. Usually I will push that or I'll engage, but there's no point. And this is where I'm thinking, hold on, we've got two mediums on the red team here who are holding back this position on the right-hand side. There's a Caro who's lost a lot of his hit points, and I haven't really been paying much attention. So I have a change of mind here. I'm going to push these guys. They haven't pushed. They've taken a defensive position. So I'm going to actually put some shots in on the E50M. He's now close to one shot. The SDB put a shot in on him. We managed to bounce a shot from him. The turret on the 907 is actually pretty decent. Put another shot in there. We don't pen that one, but we do track him. And the Caro, he's obviously going to be interested in the Caro because he's a one shot, and the Caro is a very strong tank. So what I'm going to do is here, push in through here, put a shot in on the SDB, block him, not let him around me, try and protect the Caro, and push on through and take any shots as well so that we keep the Caro in the game. And this is really just a matter of mobbing up here. Apple has also been pushing the side, and as we push those meds, they'd be, if they retreated, Apple would have had shots. So we put a shot in on the Yo there. He's going to be kept spotted on the map. There's an E4 who's holding back our team here, so we're going to put a free shot in on him. I'm going to attempt a second shot here. I'm actually going to miss this shot. That's my fault. I shouldn't have been moving. The on-the-move dispersion isn't the best, but we're going to push in on up here. The Yo is still spotted. We're going to take him out, finish him off, and we're going to put some free shots in on, just farm this E4. So I'm aiming for tracks there, don't get them. Now, like I said in the last video, a situation like this would kind of piss me off, but looking at the score, the last two tanks, I've got the hit points to take the shot here from the Sherry. Now, I do mess up this where I pushed the wrong side of this. I should have pushed the left-hand side and try and shimmy out the turret of the E100. I thought I was blocked. I didn't think I would get through here. And I'm probably going to eat a shot here from this tank. I do. I've got the hit points, but we managed to take him out. He's a one-shot, so there's a lot of shots missed there. We do a good bit of damage, though, 3.2k. And another victory. And so the final team stats, 3.2k. Managed to take out 3. And we damaged 5 tanks. So we do get a second class mastery. We do get a good few credits as well for that game. And you can see from that game, Applevsorange and myself are the top 2 on the team. So we're going to go into the second game for our medium games. And this particular game, we're playing 2 Object 140s. So this is a tank that's been changed throughout the years. It was very, very similar to the T62A, but it almost plays like a light tank now. So I don't move here at the start. I'm just keeping an eye on what Apple is going to be doing. This is a map that's actually featured quite a bit in this video as well. It's Game of Supremacy. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay low here, and we're going to push the left-hand side, the right-hand side here. Just going to push up into this position here. I said this in the last video. This position here is very, very nice to just get some info on the Reds of what they're doing and where they're situated. We do spot up the AMX in the middle. I missed that shot, but Apple gets his. And the great thing about a mobile tank is your ability to relocate. And Apple here, I can see he backs off on my screen, and I know that he's flanking around. Now he's asking for help, but he's not asking for help from the team. He's asking for help from me. So we're going to push in and around here, around the seaside, and we're going to flank them fairly hard here. So it seems we're getting the C cap. We've got two heavies here. I'm going to push in, try and help the guys get the C caps, so to free them up and get them active in the game, which is really annoying and something that I really despise out of heavy tanks, where they go for caps and they're not active in the game. So the sooner you get the cap, the better. And we're going to push in here. The Reds are in the middle. We're going to put a shot in the 7.52 there. We'll put a shot in. And you see that quite a bit with this tank. The gun is amazing, great DPM, but sometimes the alpha, you'll get low rolls. Apple has been asking for help. He's pushed very, very hard on the right-hand side here to flank them. And he spotted up the 4005, who's hold in the middle here. There's also a T92E1. So we're just going to, we've got the element of surprise here. We're going to put some shots in on the rear of this tank. And you just see the raw DPM of this tank, particularly with the tank that Apple is in as well, another 140. And we're just going to shred this guy, take him apart. Now I'm aiming for tracks there, I missed the track, but do take a shot as well. But I don't mind taking a shot there. Now we find ourselves in a situation where we've got one tank versus two tanks over the far side. The Ritter is probably going to get taken out by the time I get over to him, or we can engage these tanks here in the middle. So what we're going to do is I actually make a decision here to, I'm sorry Ritter, but he's going to get taken out. I'm going to try and help our tanks here in the middle. These are the tanks that have DPM, but we also need to try and help the IS-4 here, who's a one-shot now. Put a shot in on the VZ there. This AMX put a shot in on me, and I think he's looking at somebody else, and then he turns around and he shoots me. Cheeky bugger, but he's not going to last very long. I can just see this guy gets wrecked. Two of these 140s in a platoon is really, really big. And if you're able to share hit point pools and get shots in on the Reds, they're just devastating. So it's really just a matter of cleaning up here. We've got a T62A on the red team who didn't really move, played a really weak game and didn't use the mobility of his tank, and he just stayed there on protecting the A cap, which is kind of annoying. And we have spotted up the Waffentrager. So Apple is going to engage the T62A. I am spotted, so I can take a shot here from the Waffen. He was anticipating me. I'm firing HE here. He hasn't got the spall liner, so it's just a matter of cleaning this guy up. Apple's able to deal with the T62A. I don't want to get taken out. Obviously, I want to try and remain alive. But this is hook, line, and sinker in terms of gameplay. Apple was able to distract him, and we're able to take him out in the end. So another victory. And the final stats of the game. So do 2.4k, get a second class, and we get the Brother in Arms medal as well. Get some decent credits as well from that game. We aren't the top two in that particular game, but some really good dynamic and good cohesive gameplay between the two of us. So the last two games, we're going to play two light tanks. We were talking about this previously, the T100 LT. Two of these in a Toon. I was playing the Chinese light tank as well, which I think I prefer over this tank, but I don't know, this tank, since I haven't played many games in it, it is a monster. It's an absolute monster. The low profile is interesting as well. You haven't got that much gun depression, but it's workable. So we're going to push in on the right hand side here. Being a light tank, we want to try and spot up the Reds, and this is the more favourable side where the mediums or potentially heavies could come in to try and support them. We do spot up the Caro, who's in the middle there. Because this tank has the tracer shell mechanic. We don't pen that particular shot, but he is going to remain on the map for the next 20 seconds. It's an important tank to make sure that the team can actually see this guy. So I'm going to put in another shot here. Now, I wasn't trying to pen that particular shot. I knew I wouldn't, but I'm just topping up this guy's tracer shell. He's going to remain again on the map for the next 20 seconds. You can see some of the reds have shown on the right-hand side there. So what we're going to do in Apple's, he's read my mind here. He's kind of resetting the engagement here. He's gone through the middle. He stayed low, and we're going to try and flank in around the tanks that are on the left-hand side. Their heavies seem to be up on the right. So we're going to push in here and actually flank these guys. And try and take these guys out as soon as possible. These two tanks have great DPM. And our team on the left-hand side have done pretty good. The Sheridan is now a one-shot. And I'm trying to bait shots as well. I don't want to be coughing up hit points. Put a shot in, we take out the Conway, so we're just working through the reds here. And this is a game of process. Getting the process right and knowing and prioritizing certain processes. It's the aim of the game. Now, Apple has made a very, very hard push there, but I am distracted. And I don't mind taking shots there if it keeps Apple in the game. And we're down to the last tank on the left-hand this side here, so it's the mouse. Now I do mess up a little bit here. We were talking about this previously. This is a great tank because it's got such a low profile, and particularly when it comes to enemies like this who are driving high tanks. So I just get in on his side and cradle him, and it's kind of frustrating because I'm bouncing my shots, which is really annoying. This BC, I don't know what he does there. He just creates an issue for me as well. So he just rams the VK, gets taken out, and all of a sudden I now need to cradle this guy on his right hand side. So get in underneath him. I'm moving, shimmying back and forth. If he's got auto aim on, that's going to move his gun. And the timing is excellent. The BC comes in. He puts a shot in on me, and I missed this shot. Yeah, I missed that shot. That's a bad shot to miss. And then I kind of just rethink this. Like, I'm taking on a tank that I probably can't afford to take on. I haven't got the hit points to keep playing with this guy. So I just reset the engagement here. I decided to not go up against the heavy there and to take on their mediums instead. Their T62A, we're able to double shot him here. Apple puts in the first shot, I put in the second, we take him out. And I have no problem using my hit points here. I'll take a shot, keeps Apple in the game, and also distracts this T62A who can take shots from our team, and I can go around and just finish him off. And suddenly it's 4 versus 1. Now, I don't know what this Progetto and the C75 are doing at this point. This really annoyed me. I don't know why he's pushing a light tank out in front of potential fire from the red, but I was lucky there that he wasn't in a position where he could shoot me. Bit of a dick move from the Progetto, nonetheless. And it's just a matter of cleaning this guy up and taking him out. Now, I shouldn't have really been taking that shot, but the DPM on this thing, the reload is very, very fast. So all I need to do is, he's distracted, I'll just finish him off. And you know what? I'm glad I got the last kill shot there on that guy. Didn't like what the Progetto and the E75 were doing there. So another victory. These two tanks are lethal, especially in a platoon. Apple played really well there. 2.9k damage, destroyed 4. Just getting lucky with all the kills. We're getting them with damage 7. So we've got the top gun and a second class mastery. We don't get the top spot there, but we played really, really well. And then we're into the last game. So we're on Himmelsdorf. It's a game of supremacy. And we spawned on the north side, so naturally I'm going to be more inclined to moving on the A cap, or pushing in around the A cap here. Obviously, want to see what tanks we spot up. Particularly this map, it's an interesting one because you can push the A cap, but it's also, you have to be careful with whatever supporting tanks show up on the A side. And I've been in this situation before where you push really, really tough, really, really hard, and you get absolutely wrecked by tanks that are then spotted up. So I'm playing this a little bit passively at the start. I want to just see what tanks show up. We haven't spotted up anybody yet, which is interesting. It's all about patience, the aim of the game. And we have spotted up one of their tanks. So we know that they're probably going to be coming up here with support. There is a Centurion who's over pushed that one. Put a shot in inside, and I'm kind of lucky not to take a HES shell there. Trying to time the shots. 405 at the back, and that's an important shot because the tracer shell will keep him on the map for the next 20 seconds. Put another shot in, and we're not taking shots from him, so it's always good. Cautious of this Sheridan. I don't want him to push in and flank us. So it's, Apple's doing a very good job of holding him back. Scent comes out again, we're able to track him, put another shot, and we do damage. And again, the tracer shell mechanic keeps him on the map for the next 20 seconds, so it's all good. And that's a very important thing to do, particularly against mediums and their TDs who might be supporting them at the back. So I'm happy to keep shooting the 4005 at the back. WZ was a little bit slow there. I was hoping that he'd pull back and I'll put a shot into the scent and take him out, but he doesn't. And this is where the Sheridan makes a push for Apple, so put a shot in on him. He overextends, he's now one shot, and he overextends again. I don't know why he over pushes this, but we take him out. And now we can take him out. The Yag has realised that he's overextended and he's pulling back. I'm going to put a shot in on him, aim for the tracks. I don't get them. And I ram him to try and take off his tracks. I don't do that either, but we managed to take him out. And I don't want to sit here getting the A cap. We are getting the caps back. I want to help out this IS-7, so I'm going to push in here and take out this FV. So Apple hasn't got most of his hit points there. He's lost a few of his hit points. Their team has made the fatal error of prioritizing the caps instead of prioritizing the gameplay, which is a frustration that I have if you're playing any other tank. Heavies tend to be guilty of this an awful lot, where they'll get the caps and they'll then try and hold on to the caps. But you can see it's 4 versus 2. We've got the numbers now. I can push it around. I know where he is on the map. I'm going to try and reclaim this D cap. Try and shoot the chieftain there. That's the optimism of me. Again, another shot. I knew I wasn't going to pen him there, but sometimes if you're shooting at him, you're trying to keep him back, and hold his position. We do manage to track him there. It's just a matter of taking this guy out. So I'm going to make a mistake here. I'm going to take a shot, and he's going to kill my driver. But I want to get it in and around and put some shots in on the side. And the WZ gets a little bit greedy here, and the chieftain is aware that he is going to get him to take him out in the game. I can, unfortunately, I shoot, but I only get a track shot there. It's just a matter of taking him out here. So a fairly solid game. Both Apple and myself were able to remain and stay alive in the game. So the final stats. $2.9k damage, destroyed 4, damage 5, get a second class in the top gun. Really enjoyed those games with Apple. I'm not traditionally a good Platoon player. I don't think I'm a good Platoon player, but I've really enjoyed playing with this guy. And that's all I've got to say, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully catch you in the next one. Take care.